Okay, the last type of sentence that you are going to be looking for on your quiz, and then again next week on your test, is compound complex. You can actually have compound complex where you have at least two independent clauses. And if you remember, that is what a compound sentence is, at least two independent clauses that will be joined by a fanboy and a comma, or actually a comma and a fanboy, or a semicolon. Not only will you have two independent clauses, but you will also have at least one subordinating clause. So it's subordinate. It has a subject and a verb, but it is not a complete thought. It can't stand alone as a sentence, and it needs to be hooked to an independent clause to work as a complete sentence. So compound complex have at least two independent clauses and at least one subordinate clause. Remember, the subordinate clause will start with a subordinating conjunction or a relative pronoun. Okay, so let me give you an example of this. When it started, actually, let me change that. Here's my eraser. Don't want to make anything confusing. See, when the dog barked, I opened the door and my sister let my dog outside. Okay, now it's a lengthy sentence, right? So we have a lot to look at, and I told you in advance that it's compound complex. Sometimes those are rather lengthy. So let's take a look here. Let's look for our clues right away. Do you see any comma and a fanboys? And I like to look at that right away and ding, ding, ding. Yes, I do. I see a comma and. So now I'm thinking probably two independent clauses here. So let's just stop for a second and look at everything after the comma and the and. My sister let my dog outside. Is there a verb? Let. Let is a verb. It is an action verb. Who or what let my dog outside? Sister, let. So we have a subject and a verb. Let's see if it's a complete thought. My sister let my dog outside. Yes, this is an independent clause. I'm going to underline it once. My sister let my dog outside. Okay, now let's look at the other side of the comma and the and. Do you see any magic words or signal words, hint words, such as a subordinating conjunction or a relative pronoun? When the dog barked, I opened the door. When is a word that I am familiar with that is a subordinate conjunction. So I'm going to circle it, and I'm going to see if there is a subject and a verb after it. When the dog barked, then I get to a comma, so I'm going to stop there. When the dog barked, is there a verb? Barked. Barked is an action verb. Who or what barked? Dog. Dog is the subject. So now I ask myself, when the dog barked, is that a complete thought? No, it is not. It has a subject, it has a verb, and it starts with a subordinating conjunction. So that is a subordinate clause. I'm going to underline that twice. It is a subordinate clause. So far, we have one subordinate clause and we have one independent clause. I have a few more words here, so let's read them. I opened the door. Is that a complete thought? I opened the door. Yes, it is. Is there a verb? I opened the door. Opened is an action verb. Who or what opened the door? I. That's your subject. So I have another complete thought that has a subject and a verb. That is another independent clause. I'm going to underline it once. Independent clause. So I have one subordinate clause. I have two independent clauses joined by a comma and a fanboy. So I have a compound complex sentence. My advice to you when you look at your sentences on your quiz and test, look for commas and fanboys. Look to see if you have any. Look for subordinating conjunctions and look for relative pronouns. Do you have those? Those are all clues to tell you what kind of clauses you have. And then count them up. If you're at home, right? So you can actually take a piece of paper and write the sentence down and underline, like I did, underline subordinate clauses twice, underline independent clauses once, if that helps you. Or you can type it. Or frankly, you can do it on a whiteboard. This comes off my wall. I could take it upstairs and do it while I did my test or quiz. You're at home and you can use any of those methods to attack your sentences. Because I know on the JudoPod, you can't write on it, but you certainly can copy those sentences down and attack them that way. If you want, I can create a paper version of it for you and send it to you so that you can write on it and then put your answers in. So let me know if you would like a paper copy of this quiz and test, and I will talk to Mrs. McNulty and I'll make that happen for you. But hopefully this helps a lot. I'm gonna go upstairs and put my editing skills to work and try to put this together with some visual aids, with the subordinate conjunctions, and hopefully this will be a way to help you understand and to help you study. Good luck, you guys. Stay healthy. Miss you all a lot. Talk to you soon.